of mind is irrelevant. And you're listening to Thunder Talk with your host, Thunder Bear of the Courage Family. And this is Sunday, May the 19th, 2019. Sorry for the slowness that I was doing there. I was listening to myself, trying to get a feel for the quality of the broadcast, the audio. So anyway, yeah. All right. Man, I will be so glad when winter is over with. Seriously. It's I'm upon the land known as San Diego, California, and it feels like winter hasn't ended yet. I figure maybe by August. What do you think? Anyway, the chat room is open for FERlive.com. NASA Lies About Everything has joined the chat. It's good to see them. And of course, I am broadcasting simultaneously on my YouTube channel as well. Chat room is up on that, although I'm not sure if I'll be able to monitor it very well during the show. Tonight's show is it's all about courts and stuff. It's about law because I'm helping like 2 or maybe 3 peoples right now with their court stuff, and they got lots of questions and stuff. Yeah. So, by the way, if you are listening on my YouTube channel, you'll see in the description that I have links, all kinds of links. One of the links I have is to a whole folder of documents. Okay. And it's about a little over 7 megabytes, and it includes my sword shield method. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, please, by all means, click on that later, maybe download it. It's just a lot of really interesting files for those that are into this sort of stuff. Okay, so let me start out by telling you a story, as it were. I had a friend who was in jail. Okay, he was actually sentenced to jail for 3 years. He only served about 7 days. And the reason is I pulled his ass out of there. Okay. Keep in mind, this was at a time when I just barely started listening to Carl Lentz's stuff. If I had listened to it earlier, he wouldn't have been in jail at all. Okay, I know that they were trying to railroad him. He did not do anything wrong. I mean, absolutely nothing wrong. And he was an elderly man. And how I got him out of jail was I simply adopted him lawfully as my child and claimed him as my property. I wish and require my property to be restored to me. Yeah, they let him out fast. They said, "Oh no, don't worry about anything. He's got a hearing coming up," and he didn't have a hearing scheduled. By the way, I know I checked it before. He didn't have any hearings scheduled, like in that week or anything. But all of a sudden, oh, he's got a hearing coming up. Don't worry, he'll be out. It's like, wow, this stuff works. And I didn't even do it properly. Seriously, I was rushing everything. I was rushing it over a weekend. It's like, oh, I got it. If I remember right, I think it was over a weekend. Yeah, I was rushing it as fast as possible, and I didn't do everything like I really should have done it, but it was enough. Okay. Actually, I did some things I didn't need to do. I actually had his family tree, and the little piece of paper or papers actually that trace lineage and stuff like that. And I was going to use that as evidence, in Exhibit A or whatever. He's my property. So, but yeah, it turns out I didn't need to do that. it's just I was still learning. It's a really steep learning curve. I made all kinds of mistakes. And like I said, I just barely started listening to Carl Lentz. I listened to maybe, I don't know, 6 of his videos or something. And well, actually, Craig Lynch's videos on Carl Lentz. Get technical about it. Craig Lynch took a lot of recordings that Carl had made off of TalkShoe, which is a podcast um, page or whatever, website. And yeah, he organized them and everything. So yeah, I made all kinds of little mistakes, but I did a few things right too, and that's just the way it is. If you're first really learning this stuff, yeah, you're probably going to make mistakes. I've been in it for so damn long now, though, that I just have this confidence. It's like I don't care what the situation is. If I ever am allowed into their courtrooms again, you know, then yeah, I can just with just like really really quickly just totally demolish them within a matter of minutes. And it's just I like to play with them though. Carl Lentz, what his approach is: get in, get out fast. 5-10 minutes, maybe you're done. Okay, my approach is I like to mess with them. Okay, because I like to get evidence, and I at one time I had all kinds of physical evidence, paper and stuff like that. But a lot of it is, well, all of it's gone actually. Some of it was actually technically not my evidence; it was my friend's evidence, but it was stolen. Someone broke into his house and stole just that, just the stuff, the evidence that the courts were committing fraud. Okay. He had a giant stack of papers that he actually got from the courts themselves, from the courthouse itself. All right. He went up to, I can't remember what floor it is, like 3rd, 4th floor, something like that, maybe 5th floor. I can't remember. It's been a while. So he went up to one of those floors, right? And he just requested the documents. And they gave him a whole bunch of documents, a big, big stack of documents. And of course, we took it back to his house and went through it all. And it's like, wow, this is solid evidence right here. The courts are committing fraud. Sometime after that, I don't know how long we had those documents, but it was sometime after that we got back to his house after going shopping or something, and yeah, we discovered that only certain documents were taken. Nothing else was taken. Everything in the house was still in the house. Court documents as well, but not those court documents that we needed to prove fraud. They knew precisely what to take, and we knew exactly where they were kept, because it's like, well, you got a couple dresser drawers totally empty here. We'll have a filing system, because we didn't have a filing cabinet. We'll just have those drawers, use them as a filing system. This drawer is for the court stuff. So, we knew exactly where the documents were kept, and it was only the ones that we needed to prove that the court was committing fraud. Okay. Now, as for how you approach the court, now I want you to imagine something for a moment. I want you to imagine that you're a little kid, okay, of about, I don't know, 10 years old, be fine. 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, something like that. Okay. And some other little kids come and they're about your age and they kind of harass you and everything. Okay. And they don't have a right to harass you. And then they steal something from you. Let's say it's a little flower or something that you picked. Okay. And they steal it from you and then they grab you and they hold you captive in a basement because you had that flower. And it was just flower off of, we'll say it's off of your own land, your family's land or something. Now, you know that they have no right to do that, right? Okay, well, what's the real difference between that situation and you and the police? Really, what's the real difference? You say, oh, the police are authority. No, they're not. It's just some group of kids that have come to you, and these kids are wearing costumes, and they say, oh, we've got authority. What's this, a game of let's pretend? I don't recall giving you any kind of authority over me. So, yeah, you can look at it that way. You can look at it as all commerce, which is what it is. Their courts are commerce, pretty much, for the most part. Commerce, not trade. Trade is for the living, commerce is for the dead. Commercial operations. Okay. So if they give you an order, for example, well, you can give them a bill if you fulfill the order. It's like, or even before you fulfill the order, you can say, okay, well, you placed an order, a commercial order with me. Here's how much I charge for you to fulfill that order, or for me to fulfill that order for you. That is, sorry, I misspoke that. This is how much I will charge you for fulfilling that order. That's if you don't really want to do the order. Okay. If the order's not too bad, you just place a value upon it, and you go ahead and fulfill it, and then give them the bill. Okay. Yeah. You can do that with all kinds of things. Okay. Just any kind of order that they give you. If, let's say, you're holding an umbrella and a police officer says, drop the weapon. Okay. First of all, it's just an umbrella, but okay. We'll just say, is that an order? He says, yes, that's an order. Okay, great. And you drop the umbrella, and then you say that'll be $500. Okay, that's $500. You gave me an order. I fulfilled the order. That's $500. Payable immediately. Okay. Judges give you orders. Great. Put it in writing. Tell the judge, I want that order in writing. Okay, it's in writing. Great. If it's an order you feel that you can fulfill, go ahead and fulfill it, and then send them the bill. All right. He has to pay. If you do a true bill in commerce, that's something I forgot to do is show you as type up what I call a true bill in commerce. Okay. Or just a true bill. You could just say a true bill rather than a true bill in commerce. I had one at one time. I don't know if I've got any in my files or not, but essentially it's just this. You have true bill written across the top of it. Okay. And then you have something like I comma man, or I comma woman, depending on what it is. And then put your lawful name in 4 corner brackets. Okay. Hereby claim that this amount is owed by you to me. And then, you fill in the amount and for services rendered. Okay. Or something along those lines. Do something really similar along those lines. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I haven't actually got anything written out or anything. But yeah, you can do that. Okay. The thing is that their courts are just a game of let's pretend. That's all they are. All right. Because they're just actors in essence, and they're playing roles. They're playing parts. They're playing persons. Like when the prosecutor says, I am the state of California, or the judge says, is there state of California here? And the prosecutor stands up and says, I'm here, or I'm present. All right. Well, do you think he's actually the state of California? He's acting as an agent for the state of California. That's true. But I mean, come on. It's pretend. That's all it is. It's a game of let's pretend. I would highly encourage you, if you've got a court case coming up or something, just go and sit in on a court case. You can, most court cases you can do that, by the way. I've done that before. I've just gone in and into a courtroom and sat down and just watched a case. It didn't have any business with the case or any of the people's involved in the case or anything. And I got confirmation one time of something that I was pretty sure that I knew by just doing that, because an attorney slipped up. When the defense attorney, the judge says to her something, I forgot what he said, but anyway, she says, "Yes, Your Honor, and she stops herself. She's about to say, "I understand," and then she says, "I comprehend." So she didn't actually complete the word understand. I was sitting there watching this. So I witnessed this attorney actually make a mistake. It could have been a serious error, actually, if she said the words, "I understand." Because understand, well, it's under the stand. The stand is a bill of exchange, a bill where the charges are. The charges reside in the bill. She could have made herself financially liable for the charges. So, yeah, that's another thing. They speak in legalese. All right. That's one of the reasons why, if you don't really know what you're doing, you put forth the notices. If you want to know how to do a notice, look at my sword and shield method. Okay. You put forth your notice or notices, and you basically shut the hell up. Okay. For the most part, you shut the hell up. You say, "No, my case is there." Okay. You make a case using notices. All right. Now, Carl Lentz is the best at making cases. I think my claims are better than his because I've got balls. I'm just gonna come around and say I've got balls. I will make claims no one else will make, but I know them. I know them to be true. Okay. My seeking clarification is probably better. Okay. But it's kind of a matter of perspective because, like I said, he's all about getting in and out fast. I am all about gathering evidence. It's like, I'll stay there for a little while if I gather evidence and make them squirm. That's just the way I am. Okay, well, let me pull up my seeking clarification. My sword and shield method. Hold on. Go to home here and let's see. Hang on, I got to find the folder here. It's the Being Free folder and Sword and Shield. There we go. Because I do want to kind of go over that a little bit here. Scoot my computer around so I can see a little better. There we go. Okay. So there's all kinds of claims that you can make. Okay. Like I, comma, man, or woman, whatever the case may be. Or you can just say living soul. You can say living soul as well. I, comma, living soul. Okay. Claim you do not have any jurisdiction over me whatsoever. Is there any man or woman here who challenges my claim? And then you wait, and then you say, no man or woman challenges my claim, therefore my claim stands in law and in fact. That's one thing you can do. Okay. Now, a really good claim to make, of course, is I, man, claim that no man or woman is going to come forward and say that I've caused harm, injury, or loss. You could say that. I would make sure first, of course, obviously, that's in the seeking clarification. Let me see if I can scroll down to seeking clarification here. See if I can find that particular one. Actually, there's a lot of related ones. Like, is there a contract that I violated in this case? If there is, can you produce it? Okay. If there's no contract violated, yeah, do you have a case? Is there an actual case there? Have I done anything wrong? If I have, is there someone willing to come forth and make a claim? Okay. That's very similar to what I said before about, yeah, actually, instead of saying someone, it really should say, is there a man or woman willing to come forth and make a claim that I've done wrong, cause harm, injury, or loss? Something like that. Show me the man or the woman who is coming forward to say that I've caused harm, injury, or loss. You Another one is like the charges. You can say, uh, "Are wait, hang on, compose my thoughts for a second here." Um, the charges are the charges true, valid, and lawful? Simple question. Is there any man or woman saying that the charges are true, valid, and lawful? All right. If no one answers, then you say, you don't say, well, you say, I, man, claim that the charges are not true, valid, and lawful. Is there any man or woman here who challenges the claim? You can do that way too. That's a shortcut way, actually. That makes it really simple. You know, the way Carl would do it would be basically asking if there's a man or woman willing to come forward to the court and swear, that he has caused harm, injury, or loss. If no man or woman shows up within 10 minutes, well, I'm leaving. I'm out of here, basically. There's no case. There's simply no case. If there's no harm done, if there's no conflict, no, not conflict, I'm sorry, controversy, if there's no matter of controversy, there is no case. Okay. Simply put, there is no case. They don't have anything if there's no matter of controversy. Now, what's a matter of controversy? If they say, you've done something, you have violated this code, statute, whatever, okay, and there are charges against you, and you say, no, I didn't. You've just generated a matter of controversy. I don't care about the charges, really. I don't. I mean, as long as, look, if you prove or if you show some way, okay, through claim or seeking clarification or something, whatever, that the charges are not true, valid, and lawful, I don't care what the charges are. Okay, I don't care if it's a felony. I don't care if it's a misdemeanor or a combination of both. You could have a one felony, one misdemeanor, whatever. I don't care. All right, they can say that I'm charged with wearing a hat. They can say I'm charged with killing 10,000 peoples. It doesn't matter. Okay, charge of wearing a hat. Okay, I wore a hat, but where's the contract that says I can't? As far as killing 10,000 peoples, well, obviously I didn't, but I don't care that they're saying that, other than they're committing libel or slander, depending on, or both. If it's written and spoken, then it's libel and slander. And then I go after them for that, you know. But as far as the actual charges themselves, please, I don't give a crap about that. I really don't care about the legal side of it. You know what? Every court that I ever been through has always been convictions against my person, but I didn't care because I shifted it all into the common law and just walked. Bye. I just shifted jurisdictions over to the common law. And so, they got their legal side. And I say, well, you can just, be sure to have the charges discharged. Yeah, you can. I'm not sure how important that is, really. I really don't. Because they make up all kinds of crap anyway. And that's the thing about their complaints. I don't give a crap about their complaints. Carl and I are in perfect agreement about that. I don't give a crap about the complaints. Okay, they can say all kinds of crap in the complaints. I've seen complaints. It's like, yeah, this is nonsense. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. But, all they're doing is they're making you angry. Okay, they're making you angry with the complaints. If I'd known from the very beginning about complaints, I would never have accepted them. I would never have gotten discovery before the trial was over with. Okay. After the trial is over with, after all that's done, then you can go get discovery. Okay. But whatever you do not get discovery before then. All right. Oh man, it's almost time for the break. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. What you need though. Okay. Well, not all the time. It depends. It depends on the situation. But a good portion of the time, if there's a warrant involved, especially, you need the authenticated, certified, complete copy of the case file, time stamped, the court seal, everything. Okay. It's from the court itself. That's what you want. You do not want discovery. Okay. When you get discovery, what you're doing is you're contracting out with them. They're providing a service. It's an adhesion contract. They're loaded with adhesion contracts. They say to you, anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. And you say anything after that, you've just entered into an adhesion contract. You've agreed to be in a court of law, which is one of the reasons why I would like to one day try out my little thing where as soon as I see a police officer approaching me, I simply say, anything you say anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of record. I want to try that one day. I honestly want to try that and see if the cop just stops, stares at me for a moment, turns around and leaves. Because if he says anything, he has just agreed to a court of record. Okay. Anything at all, he's agreed to a court of record. Court of record, all prosecutorial immunities are stripped away. All right. I gotta get my phone ready here because I play the break through my phone most of the time. All right. You know what? Since I got like a minute and a half to break, I'm just going ahead and play the break. I'll be right back after this. Are you tired of seeing the homeless in the streets? Well, have we got the product for you? Introducing Stealth Cloak 2020, the invisibility cloak that will make the homeless disappear. That's right. Each one of our patent pending cloaks is guaranteed to make a homeless man or woman invisible. For the low price of $10,000 each, you can provide a homeless man or woman with a Stealth Cloak 2020. You may be asking, isn't $10,000 a lot of money? Well, no. When municipalities spend between $40,000 and $60,000 a year on each homeless man or woman, you can see that this is a bargain. If the homeless can't be seen, then the money can't be spent. Some of you may ask, what if we took the $10,000 and bought them a foamcrete house and land? Well, that would be treating them as if they were real human beings. Everyone knows that they are subhuman animals. So get your Stealth Cloak 2020 today at IamAPsychowiener.com. Flat Earth News. The land known as Florida is 500 miles long and 160 miles wide. The land has no curvature. According to the math, there should be approximately 31.5 miles of curvature if the Earth were a sphere with a circumference of about 24,901 miles. No curvature has ever been detected at any altitude. This has been a Flat Earth News Brief with your host, Thunder Bear of the Courage Family. Peace out.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show. All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. The whole world's a stage, man. You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live.
Find yourself mastering the beast. Tune in and listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music, our resident musician and spiritual brother in Christ, Yahushua. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this
Yes,
out.
it's message in the music time once again, and only Flat Earth Radio has got him. Saturday, the true Sabbath. Lend a knee and lend an ear. Listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this out.
Starting at 5 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, 8 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast,
Check this out.
and 7 o'clock p.m. Central.
This is out.
The Geocentric Eccentric.
The Geocentric.
West Blaze Music. Only Flat Earth Radio has got him. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
As bad as I wanna be. FlatEarthRadioLive.com. The Ferret.
Hey, John, you don't look so good. What's the matter?
Oh, I always feel tired and run down. You know, no energy. I think it's my poor diet or something.
Well, you know, John, I used to feel the same way. Couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the daytime. That's when my doc told me that I had leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, wow. What'd you do? Surgery?
No way. I tried Tarsal. Tarsal is made with the finest, purest cream of tartar and MSM sulfur. And that's all. The fact that it contains all natural ingredients makes it especially desirable in today's toxic world. Tarsal is a white powder that you take every day with water or juice. Taken regularly, Tarsal can clear your leaky gut right up.
Tarsal, huh? So what else does Tarsal do?
Tarsal can help with acne, psoriasis, constipation, gallstones, heartburn, hemorrhoids, hypertension, IBS, and UTI.
Wow, that's quite a formula.
Yes, it is. And Tarsal also helps you to relax, repels insects, and can help you stop smoking.
So how do I find Tarsal?
That's easy. Just go to tarsal.com or call 619-363-1264. Try a bottle today and begin feeling normal again.
TARSUL.com. Try Tarsal today.
Asking these questions that no one ever asked before because we didn't even think about this. I think it's like God unlifting the veil, you know? He's starting to show people, look, you want to believe this? It's a lie. People are asking questions and truth is going to prevail. It's like, yeah, the biggest problem is that we're not able to asking questions, so therefore we can't assimilate. And, you know, people are asking questions and truth is going to prevail.
Join your host, Shelley Lewis, every Wednesday afternoon at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Down the Rabbit Hole with Shelley Lewis.
Down the Rabbit Hole with host Shelley Lewis. Only here on Flat Earth Radio Live. The Ferret.
All right, back. So, just one moment here. There we go. Yeah, I got that delay. Okay, so anyway, getting back to the discussion here. Yeah, U.C.C. stuff. Okay, I used to, a long time ago, I used to write, like, when someone would force me, like a deputy sheriff, someone would force me to put a marker or something on like a notice to appear or whatever, I would write on there U.C.C. 308, I think it was. It used to be 206, if I remember right. And see, under duress, stuff like that, whatever. Okay. Bad thing. Don't use U.C.C. Don't use any of their codes. Okay. Don't use court precedent. Don't use any of that stuff. I mean, unless all you're doing is just referencing for a particular purpose, you can kind of reference that if you want. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. That came up suddenly there. But put it in like 4-corner brackets. Okay. Don't actually say, well, I'm making this kind of a case based on U.C.C. 308 or whatever. Okay. It's not your codes. Unless you're a federal employee. If you're a federal employee, then by all means use U.C.C. because U.C.C. is federal common law. That's for federal employees. All right. So yes, by all means use it then, if you know what you're doing. But quite frankly, it's a convoluted mess. It's really super dense legalese. It used to be where I can just, open up the U.C.C., look through it and say, oh yeah, okay, this means this, and this, whatever. Now, though, because they keep changing it up and making it more and more in code. Seriously, it's like a freaking code. You have to sit there and decipher it, and some of it I can't decipher. I'm not, really fluent in legalese. I know some legalese, but I'm not fluent in it. But I don't need to be, because I don't use legalese. I use plain English, and that's what you need to stick to. If it's under duress, it's under duress. Okay, if you're signing under duress, all rights reserved. Okay, so first you put under duress, and then you put all rights reserved, and then you put your mark or your, well, I don't want to say signature, actually. The only time you should be signing something is if you're acting as an authorized agent. You can put your autograph. Okay, put your autograph. So yeah, don't use U.C.C. Okay. My notes aren't organized. So let me okay. Another thing here. Settle the matter in private. If you can, if it's a matter of controversy with someone who's not the court, try to settle the matter in private. Okay. It would be a lot easier. And it's like, no, the state needs to keep out of it. Because think about what the state's doing. The vast majority of the time, they're just getting money for themselves. Okay. That's all they're doing. And how much money does the victim get? Almost nothing to nothing, actually. A lot of times, the victim doesn't even get anything. Right? And that's you say, well, that's for the civil suit. Well, I wouldn't really do a civil suit unless you're going after a corporation. Okay. Civil is Roman, and it's all corporations and stuff. You can do a suit in common law. If you're going to do a suit in common law, please look at Carl Lentz's stuff. All right. Just get those documents that I have in that a folder, or my sword and shield method. There's links to Carl Lentz's stuff in there. Okay. In fact, he has a brand new website as well. And I forgot what it is, but you can look it up. After you click on those links and everything, you see his name and stuff, and you look up his new site. And he's got new shows coming out as well. So, yeah, he's been in it a lot longer than I have. And he's better at so much more of it than I am. But I do have my areas, and I do have my little tricks. He's never recommended to claim someone as property to get them out of jail. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. I got the idea because of how he says that you can get kids back from the state. I said, well, what's the difference? A kid or an adult, right? There's really no difference. You want to just call the adult property at the point and get the adult out. Of course, it helps that the adult knows what you're doing. Okay. Don't worry about the courts knowing what you're doing ahead of time, as far as that is concerned. Okay. Now, you do want to keep certain things from the courts, as in, like that, if they give you an order and you feel that you can fulfill the order, go ahead and do the order. Don't let them know that you're going to charge them ahead of time. Okay. If you feel you can't do the order, just let them know, oh, well, if I fulfill that order for you, I'm going to have to charge you $10 million. You let them know ahead of time then. And it's not the state that you're charging, it's the man or the woman who's just giving you the order. Okay. The man or the woman who's acting as a judge, for example, or a police officer or whatever order they want to give you. If you feel that you can't fulfill that order comfortably, just let them know ahead of time. Hey, you know what? If you place that order with me and I fulfill it, I'm going to have to charge you, X number of dollars, however much you want to charge them. Make it a really large amount. And tell them that, hey, if I drag you in a court of record, if you fail to pay up and I drag you before a court of record, all your prosecutorial immunities are going to be stripped from you. You can end up losing everything except for the clothes on your back and the tools of your trade. Okay, because that's what can happen in a court of record. Most of the time, I say 9 out of 10 times, you do not want a jury. Okay, 9 out of 10 times, you want just a magistrate. Okay, that's what you want, a magistrate. So that's another little tip that I didn't include in my sword and shield method. I should have, but I don't know. Maybe I'll create a supplemental or something using these notes that I'm going over, because I did leave some things out that I just didn't think about at the time. All right. Another thing, it's never too late. Okay. It's never too late to do any actions, because there's no statute of limitations on common law. It simply doesn't exist. Any claim you make, that claim can stand for 1,000 years. I don't know about literally 1,000 years, because technology and stuff, but whatever. But yeah, that claim, your great grandkids can come back and pick up that claim. Okay, if you make a claim, they can pick it up on your behalf. Or if you're immortal, you can come back and do it in like 500 or 1,000 years or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, although if you do that, just be prepared to be vivisected, because they're going to wonder, hey, how are you immortal? Yeah, vivisection is like dissection, except you're alive when they do it. Okay, you know what dissection is, right? When they cut you open and stuff. Yeah. Vivisection, no anesthetic or anything. Yeah, so if you're immortal, be very, very careful. All right. Of course, you should know that by now. You're immortal, right? Okay. Oh, my. Don't pay gurus for any of this stuff. Okay. Seriously. You can give donations and stuff after it works for you. That's not a problem. Like Carl Lentz, he'll take donations. This stuff works for you, or whatever. If he helps you out, then yeah, after it's all done, give him a donation. With me, well, actually, there is a way of donating money to me. But yeah, only after it's worked for you. Okay. and then you contact me and I'll tell you how you can donate. Whatever it is. I don't care what it is. It'll be $5 or whatever. Actually, I kind of care because I really need money, but whatever. Yeah, to me, I don't want to charge anyone anything for any of this stuff because it's just not, I don't consider it moral. One of the things is with me, it's like, well, you got these crooks coming after you, and it'd be like being a hero for hire or something, and it's like, no, I'll just be a hero, thanks, because it'd be kind of profiting off of the bad guys doing things, That's why I could easily probably charge like, I don't know, $100, $200, $300 for my stuff, something like that. Maybe even 500. Yeah. I could probably put I could probably put packages together and start charging and everything. But to me, it just wouldn't be the moral thing to do. I mean, what about those that are in kind of like the same situation I'm in financially? I just don't have money, for the most part. What about those that don't have money? Don't they deserve to know the truth and how to free themselves? Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, if you use anything that I give you and it helps you out, like if you've got a husband in jail, for example, and and I basically take you step by step through the process of adopting him lawfully, not legally, okay, but lawfully. Although you could do it legally as well, but it's not necessary. In fact, it's just not necessary. It doesn't do anything on the legal side. You could actually make them, if you're doing a legal thing, you could make them a ward too. See, that's the way the courts do. That's another thing that gave me the idea of adopting my friend, is because I found out that the defense attorneys actually make you their ward. Okay, you're a ward of that defense attorney, which means that if you go to jail, they're falling down on their duty, but their first duty is always to the court anyway. But they're falling down on their duty to you. Unless they think, well, jail is the best thing for you. They might make that argument. Well, he belongs in jail. So whatever. Okay, let me see. Look through my notes here. Okay, one of the things that you need to do is always try. I know this is not always possible. Okay. Try to get a list of everyone involved in screwing you over. Okay. Try to get the name of the actual man or the woman who's playing judge, the name of the man or woman who's playing prosecutor, name of the man or the woman that's the police officer that arrested you or whatever, kidnapped you. Actually, it's always kidnapping, by the way. Always. I don't care if someone's actually done something or not. If a police officer hauls them off to jail, that's actually kidnapping because the police are committing fraud. Okay, unless it's a federal employee or a state employee or city employee. In that case, it's kind of different. But if you're not an employee of that so-called government, yeah, it's kidnapping. Even if you've actually done something wrong. If you killed someone, let's say you killed someone right in front of 1,000 witnesses. If a police officer hauls you off to court, it's still kidnapping. All right. I guess I kind of differ with Carl Lentz on that. I consider it kidnapping. Now, if anyone else basically comes to you and says, okay, well, I'm going to take you before a court of record. And, they do actually take you before a court of record, before a magistrate. Oh, that's not kidnapping then. Okay. There's a huge difference. A massive difference. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's never too late to do something. Okay. Even if you end up in jail or something or whatever. I said this before about fines. If they want to fine you something, you say, oh, you owe X number of dollars or whatever, like $500. The ticket is $500. You're going to pay it. All right. Let's say that you just totally screw up everything. Well, just ask what species of currency they would like the payment in. They'll probably tell you, just leave. Don't worry about paying it. Because they can't name a species of currency. Okay. They cannot name a species of currency. They'll just, they might say Federal Reserve notes. Oh, well, that's not a species of currency. Are you saying it's a species of currency? Because if you are, you're committing fraud. Something like that. There's all kinds of little tricks and everything. Something I do want to warn you about is those judges will try to bluff you. Okay. Let's say that you put forth paperwork like I would put forth. And then they say, well, and they go on with the court process and everything as if you didn't do anything. Don't worry about it. Because that paperwork, if you've given it to the court clerk, okay, and that court clerk gives it to the judge, you see that judge has it, it's in the case file, you're fine. Okay, you're absolutely fine. Yeah, because it's right there. The judge sees it. So it doesn't matter whatever the prosecutors put in the file, the case file. If you've done everything right in writing it and printing it out or whatever, do your thumbprint if possible. If possible. I know it's not always possible, but do your thumbprint if possible on the document. Yeah. Then don't worry about it. Just relax. They're just trying to bluff you. And don't worry about what happens on the legal side. Well, the defendant is sentenced to 500 years in prison. Okay. Fine. Oh, here's the defendant. And you pick up a piece of paper and hand it to him. There's the defendant. There you go. Piece of paper with that name on it. That brings me to another subject. Yeah. Oh, by the way, they can't do anything to you. If you've done everything right, like I would do it, like it's outlined in the sword and shield method. Okay. Especially the claims and stuff. You make the claims is like this, the charges are not true, valid, and lawful, stuff like that. Okay, you make all those claims and everything, right? Yeah, they're not going to do anything to you. They can do whatever they like with the defendant. I don't care. Defendant's just a piece of property. Or if you want to be really crafty with it, you can say, oh, that's my property right there. You can't put my property in jail for 500 years. You can do it that way too. Okay. In fact, you can claim that legal person as your property like I did in court. Okay. Now, if you're wondering about status corrections and stuff, ideally it's better to send it off to the Secretary of State ahead of time. But if you happen to be in court, just do it right then and there. Notice the status. Okay. That's a status correction, and it goes into the system. In my case, the notice of status, one of the notices I gave was I gave them notice that the birth certificate was null and void from the beginning because it wasn't filed in the correct number of days. Okay. And it wasn't filed in the correct number of days. There's nothing they can do with that. It becomes null and void. And that's one of the reasons why when the police pull me over and I can just give them that legal person, they put it on a computer. It says, do not arrest, do not detain, federal level. And it's going to be like that for as long as as that legal person is going to be in existence, which might not be very much longer, actually. Because I think I'm finished with that notice that I want to send off. I want to double check it, maybe triple check it before I send it off. But hopefully, like maybe Tuesday, I will send it off. And yeah, and by June the 26th, then that legal person will probably cease to exist. I'll have another legal person. Well, I'm sorry, should say 2 of my legal persons will cease to exist. And I'll have a different legal person. Okay. It's a different corporate entity. A legal name, different legal name, if you want to put it that way. Although I don't like to put it that way. Because it's not really me. It doesn't apply to me. It's a living man. But whatever. Anyway. Oh yeah, getting back to the list of those that are responsible, the reason why is because you might want to go after them. Okay, in court. But before you do lawsuits and stuff, you just give them notice like, oh, well, you owe me X number of dollars for, having me in jail for, X number of days. Say do $10,000 a day. Okay. That's because that's what the prison bond pays. It's $10,000 a day. You get sent to jail. They have that prison bond. That prison bond pays out $10,000 a day. So yeah, $10,000 a day. Every day that you have me in jail, it's like, well, you have me in jail for 100 days. It's $10,000 each day, and then so that's I don't know. I can't do math too well off the top of my head while I'm trying to do this. $100,000, $1 million, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe $1 million, whatever. So anyway, no, it's 100,000, isn't it? 10. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, you can just bill them. And then if they don't pay the bill within that time period, then that becomes a matter of controversy. Then you can take them to a court of record. Okay. And that goes for anything that you're doing. If, don't automatically jump to a lawsuit. Okay. You don't automatically jump to a lawsuit. You give notice. You give them time to remedy the situation before you do a lawsuit. Okay. You give them time. So anyway, let me move on here. Let's see. Oh yeah, don't worry about authenticating your birth certificate. That's just a waste of time. Unless you want to do, you could do. Okay, look. Let me put it this way. Okay, those that authenticate their birth certificate, what they're wanting to do is do a U.C.C. one. Okay, don't. Stay away from the U.C.C. stuff unless you're a federal employee. Okay. If you're a federal employee, that's totally different. Stay away from U.C.C. Look, U.C.C. 1, you have to have a contract with. Contract 4, that is. There has to be a contract in place. And it's complicated. And it's designed to be complicated. And you can land up in jail. All right, because you're trying to use a code that's not yours. Just do claims. You say, oh, well, look, that legal person is my property, my corporation. It was stolen through fraud. See, you do it in plain English. My property was stolen from me through fraud. My property was granted to me by my parents. Okay, stolen, and it's stolen property. I wish and require my property restored to me. Okay, and all assets associated with that property as well. Okay, something like that. I'm just doing it off the top of my head. Okay, you can clean it up a little bit, but you keep it really, really super simple. You make it as simple as possible. That's mine, give it back. Basically, that's what you're going for. That's the attitude. That's mine, give it back. Like you're a little kid, you know? Sure, you may use some fancier words, but you keep it as simple as possible. Straightforward. That's one single notice. And yeah, generally speaking, if it's a single idea, you keep it to a single page. Okay, generally speaking, I haven't had any problems with how I do my notices. Or let me pull my sword and shield method up again. Okay, like this notice that I've got here, where it says I, comma, living man, Thunder Bear of the Courage family, 4 corner brackets there, hereby claim the following, and I got number 1, number 2, and so forth, all the way down to number 15. Okay. I've put things like that before the court and I have no problem, had no problems whatsoever. Okay, because that is kind of one subject. That's all dealing with my status. Okay. If you have, and you can do like a seeking clarification, like that as well. Or if you want, you can do it 1 page at a time for each question, if that's what you want to do. If you want to count them as separate subjects or something. But the idea is not to give the judge too many pages to look at, okay, or too much to look at. The judge is, well, in this case, I guess they're human beings, maybe. Okay, would you want to look at 60 freaking pages? Seriously, someone hands you 60 freaking pages, 60 pages. So, oh, this is my case. That's what they say. This is my case. Well, I don't want to look at that. It's going to go in the trash bin. Screw it. I'm not looking at it. You give them the last time I was in court, I had to do 6 pages. Okay. And the reason being is I was trying to set something up for the future. I kind of messed up a little bit, but it's okay. That's one of the great things is you can go back and correct past mistakes. I wasn't doing it in the most comfortable position. I was actually, I was just not doing it under ideal conditions. That is. So I had to give him 6 pages. 6 pages was he can handle 6 pages. Okay. But if you're not trying to set something up for the future, it should be like 1 or 2 pages. Maybe just 1. It depends how much you want to mess with them. Seriously, are you gathering evidence against them? If you're gathering evidence against them, yeah, sure, maybe 2, 3 pages. Trying to set something up for the future, yeah, 6 pages, fine. But yeah, I mean, I had to deal with commercial matters as well. So some of those pages were in commerce. I was acting as a corporate entity on a couple of the pages or so. All right. So, and the other pages I was just doing as a living man. But yeah, I just, for the most part, just try to keep it down to 1 or 2 pages if you can. All right. And do it super, super simple. Is there any man or woman willing to come forward and say that I've done, that I've caused harm, injury, or loss? Okay. Or is there any man or woman coming forward to swear that the charges are true, valid, and lawful? If those charges are not true, valid, and lawful, there is no case. They have to be true, valid, and lawful. You can make a claim that they're not true, valid, and lawful once you find out that there's no man or woman coming forward. All right. It makes it so simple. You don't care what the charges are. You don't care about evidence. Don't even say, oh, well, there's no evidence here, or the evidence they have is fraudulent or whatever. It's like, I don't give a crap about that. Evidence does not matter. Okay? Both Carl and I are in complete agreement. Evidence doesn't matter. I don't give a crap if there's 10,000 pieces of evidence or no evidence at all. Well, they got your fingerprints, they got your blood, your DNA, they got, this, they got that, they got eyewitnesses. You know what? I don't care. I don't care about their evidence. Are their claims true, valid, and lawful? Well, are they? Is there a man or a woman who's going to swear under penalty of perjury that the charges are owed? Things like that. Or is there a man or woman going to swear under penalty of perjury that oh crap, I forgot, I just lost my train of thought. That I've caused harm, injury, or loss. Okay. Is there a man or woman coming forth before the court to swear under penalty of perjury that I've caused harm, injury, or loss? It's the simplest things. Those are the things I want to know. Those are really the most important things. I've got all kinds of things just to, like in the seeking clarification, I list, it's kind of like, throwing everything up against the wall, see what sticks, because I like harassing them to a certain degree. Because I want to just rub their nose in the crimes. It's kind of like, a dog poops on the floor and you have the desire to rub its nose in the poop. Yeah, that's kind of like what I want to do to the courts. I want to rub their noses in their poop. Like number 2 here is, do you, I say poop, number 2. Yeah. Do you believe I am acting as an agent in this case? If so, will I be compensated under law of agency? That just rubs it right, it rubs their nose right into it. Because that's what they're doing. They're acting as if you're an agent. Like you're acting as an agent for the case, or for any kind of commercial entity, the legal person, the defendant. You're acting as the defendant rather than the accused. Do you believe I have a duty to obey your codes? If you believe that I do have a duty to obey your codes, do you have proof? It's really super simple stuff. Really super simple questions. Is there a contract that I have violated in this case? I already did that one before. Let's see. Are you prepared to swear an oath that you will not commit fraud on me with your court? That's for the judge, the man acting as a judge. Are you prepared to swear an oath that you will not commit fraud on me with your court? Do you receive money for a conviction in this case? That's a really simple question you ask. You can ask that judge that in orally to embarrass the hell out of them. Do you receive money for a conviction in this case? If the judge says, yes, I do. Oh, well, then you're not a true third party, are you? You're a part of the team that's trying to convict me because you have a conflict of interest. If there's a conflict of interest, they cannot be the judge. They cannot be a judge. You can get a judge thrown off a case like that. Is there a conflict of interest in the case? Or do they have a conflict of interest? Whatever. Is your court an Article 3 court under the Constitution for the United States of America? Is your court an Article 1 court under the Constitution for the United States of America? These are very embarrassing questions to ask them. I mean, not for you, but embarrassing for them. Because a judge, when you ask a judge that, they'll say, well, you need to see an attorney about that. And then you say, you don't even know what your court is operating under? Come on. That's embarrassing for them. Can you produce the laws that your court is operating under? Produce the laws. I can produce my laws. I only have 7 laws. I can produce them. Yeah. The court can't, because the court would have to produce the U.C.C. Like, oh, I'm not under the U.C.C. That's for federal employees. They'd have to produce things like the U.S. code, maybe, or maybe penal code, maybe code of federal regulations, things like these. Look, these are codes, and they refer back to statutes. Are you going to produce the statutes as well? It's going to embarrass the hell out of them if they don't produce the statutes. What, you just got the codes? You got to be kidding me. You don't have the statutes? Your court's not operating under statutes? It might be. If it's a federal court, it might very well be operating under the statutes. Maybe. I don't know. I never asked those questions. I did ask the one about the Article 3, though. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and the thing is, any answer they give you, okay, if it's not yes or no, you can say, well, I take that answer to mean no, for example. Okay, like in the question of, is your court an Article 3 court under the Constitution of the United States of America? Sorry, Constitution for the United States of America. And, they say, well, the judge says, well, you have to see an attorney about that. Oh, well, I take that answer to mean no, that your court is not operating under Article 3 of the Constitution for the United States of America. Well, in that case, you're engaging in fraud. Okay, you tell them that you're engaging in fraud. You can really mess with them, But like I said, I mean, if you don't really know what you're doing, yeah, it's probably best to just stick to the documents. Just put the documents before the court, okay, and just for the most part, shut the hell up. Okay, for the most part, other than to say, those are my documents, and they stand. I stand behind what I write. Okay. So yeah, and then you just shut the hell up. Say, well, I've answered the court in writing. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Getting to the other stuff here. Oh yeah, don't try to win the case unless it is your case. Meaning, okay, people say, "Oh, I got to win my case." Well, if you're talking like that, most likely it's not actually your case; it's the prosecutor's case. You got to be able to bring your case forward. Okay, you got to move your court in order to bring your case forward. Your case should be as simple as maybe one sentence. Okay, now one sentence is something like, the man who is acting as prosecutor has caused me harm, injury, and or loss, or sorry, harm, injury, or loss, or harm, injury, and loss, or just harm, or just injury, or just loss, depending on what it is. Okay. Harm is like, physical harm to you, to your body, to living things. Harm is to living things. Injury is to things like that are not living. Like if they damage your computer while they're trying to gather evidence or something. Okay, that's injury to your computer. Loss is loss. It's monetary loss. It could be a loss of your freedom, whatever. It's loss. So harm, injury, or loss. Okay. Yeah, real simple lawsuit. You keep it as simple as possible. You don't have to explain to them that they've done wrong. You don't have to explain to them. I mean, unless it's something that it's been a while or whatever. It's been quite a while, and maybe you might have to say, well, you're gonna have to check the records, or it's in reference to this case here, and you get the case number or whatever it is. Okay, For the most part, though, you don't have to explain. They know that they've done wrong. Okay. So anyway, let me see here. Deliver notice. How to deliver a notice? You just take it up to the court, or to the prosecutor's office. If it's a city prosecutor, for example, you take it to the city's attorney's office. Okay. Or if it's state, whatever, you take it, just look up the state attorney's office or for your state or whatever, and then just go and deliver it to them. Deliver it by hand, get it time-stamped, a copy of it, that is. Okay. I did forget to mention, it should be a copy. Okay. And you can write copy across it. That's in my sword and shield method, how to do that. I have a preference for orange highlighters. Okay. Because it's highly visible and you can still read what's underneath it. Just write it, copy diagonally across it. Okay. So just hand deliver it and get them, because they have timestamps. Okay. At those offices, they have timestamps. They will stamp that copy. Okay. And you get them to stamp the original too. Say, well, can you stamp this original as well? So I have proof that it was delivered to your office. You can do process serving. I don't know why you would want to, really. I mean, I don't know. There are certain reasons for doing it, but the vast majority of the time, just deliver it yourself. Okay. If they're like way, way, way too far away, then actually certified mail would be enough, really. I think certified mail is enough. Some will say registered mail, maybe. If you got the money for registered mail, then fine, do registered mail. I think certified is enough, though. It's certified that it's gone through to them. They've received it. Okay. Or, well, at least it's certified that it's gone, that it was delivered. So, but if you can't afford registered mail, go ahead and do that. Registered mail is expensive, though. For me, anyway. Hell, almost everything's expensive for me, but whatever. So let's see. Just remember that they're costumed criminals. They wear all kinds of costumes. The judge wears the black robe, right? The black robe is priestly garments. It's for the temple of Baal, Baal. Okay. That means that court can act as a temple, and they expect you to give tribute. Give tribute. That's it. Cops, of course, they wear police uniforms. They're just costumes, though. All right. That's all they are. They're just costumes. So just keep that in mind. And they're all criminally insane. Okay. Every single one of them are criminally insane. Before it gets too late here, let me go to offshore banking for a moment. To hide your stuff from the IRS. Okay. Don't do offshore banking to hide the stuff from the IRS. You don't need to hide it. You can, if you want, you can actually send them a notice saying, yeah, this is how much money I got in the bank. I've got $50 million in the bank, whatever. And the IRS comes back and says, oh, well, you owe us $35 million, or you owe us all $50 million. Believe it or not, they do that sometimes. They will go after, what's his name? The guy that wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Something Bach, Richard Bach, I think, if I remember right. He had made $1 million off of his books. The IRS came after him for $1 million. He had to give it up, right? Because he didn't know what I know. Okay, so let's say the IRS comes to you and says, "Oh, well, I see that you have a 50 million in the bank. You owe us $50 million." Oh, okay. Well, just prove that I owe it to you. You put it in writing. You say, "Okay, I will be more than happy to pay you any money that I owe you as long as you can prove that I owe you the money." They will go away fast because there's no matter of controversy. You're not saying, "Oh, I don't owe the money," or "Oh, you're a bunch of liars," and or whatever. You're just saying, "I'll be more than happy to pay it, just as long as you can prove that I owe you the money." In other words, is the charge true, valid, and lawful? Can you show me where this is true, valid, and lawful? And I'll be more than happy to pay it. They will run away fast. They can't take you to court. They can't harass you with bills anymore. Okay. All that activity will cease. Okay. Just don't fill out their damn contracts. That's what those tax forms are. They're contracts. Stop filling those things out or stop signing them. Let's say you're absolutely forced to fill one of those tax forms out at work, okay, for a job. Okay, let's say they say, "Well, you cannot get a job unless you fill this thing out." Well, fill it out, but don't sign it. They say you have to sign it. Well, you pick the spot at the very, very, very top. And by the way, they're engaging in extortion, by the sort of extortion. But and they're also acting as agents for the IRS at that point. Okay. Anytime they say, "Well, you have to do this," oh, you're acting as an agent for the IRS. Well, I hope you're getting money under law of compensation. Sorry, law of agency. Sorry. I hope you're getting compensation under law of agency. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, just pick the spot at the very, 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 very top where there's no more room. Okay. And sign it there. You're only responsible for things that are above your signature. Okay. If they say, "No, you have to sign it right there on that line." And again, bring up, "Oh, you're acting as an agent for the IRS." And you might want to say something like, "Hey, is there any company policy that requires you to do this, to act as an agent for the IRS? Because you're doing unpaid labor." That may make them think a lot, but whatever. Let's say they're totally dense. They still don't get it. And they're wanting to force you to sign there. Okay. Well, put under duress and then sign. Okay. Or actually, sorry, should say all rights reserved, under duress, and then sign. Yeah. Don't put U.C.C. 308. Okay. Or any other U.C.C. crap. Do not do that. But yeah, you can do it that way. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, names. Okay. Don't worry about the names too much, about legal names and stuff. They want to insist that you and stuff. It's like, well, this is my property. You just keep telling them that's my property. Okay. And you claim it. You lay in a claim for it. That's a separate notice right there. Okay. That's my property. I own it. Okay. So don't be afraid of it. Do not be afraid of it. Claim it. That throws them into a bit of a pickle, because once you've claimed it, you say, "Is there any man or woman here who challenges my claim?" No man or woman challenges my claim, therefore my claim stands in law and fact, right? But of course you put it in writing as well. Okay. You put the claim in writing and you say, "If no man or woman challenges this claim, then the claim stands in law and in fact." All right. So, yeah, you just claim it. And then you say, "Hey, you need my permission to administrate my property. Okay. And you put that in writing too. It's like whoever is administrating my property without my consent, my express consent, okay, I will charge you, and you figure out whatever charge you want to charge them per day or per minute or per hour. You could do it per hour, you can do it per second if you want. I'd try to be reasonable about it though. I just do it by day. It's like, oh, you're doing it for today. Okay. Well, you're administrating my property without my express consent for today. So I'm going to be charging you $500. Charge them something that they can easily pay. Because the judges have to carry their checkbooks to court with them. They have to. They're required to carry their checkbooks with them to court. Okay. So that's another little thing. I know so much about this law stuff and I just forget little details sometimes. I forget I know things, I'd forgotten about that. All right. I do want to say something about baptism, and that's the last of my notes there. The baptism, you don't have to be like religious and a Christian to do something similar to it. Okay. I can't do it right now because of my special circumstances. But if things were different and if I could do it all over again, yeah, I would do either a baptism or something similar to it. Some kind of ceremony where I died, not literally, but figuratively, but or not figuratively. What's the word? I'm missing a word here. Ceremonially, I guess you can say, a ceremonial death and resurrection, or not really resurrection. It was being born again. Okay. New identity, everything. If I can do it all over again, like say if I don't know, somehow went back to when I was 15 years old. Okay. Somehow found myself in my 15-year-old body. Oh man, there would be so many different things that I would be doing. I swear, man, I would quit school for one thing. I'd go to work and save up as much money as possible, go get land or whatever. But before I did all that, one of the very first things I would do is I would either conduct a ceremony or have someone conduct it for me, or maybe even just get baptized or whatever, and have it all recorded properly and have my death recorded and my being born recorded and having brand new, totally brand new identity. You do all kinds of things through claims. Remember, their whole world is a game of let's pretend. Oh, let's pretend that you did die, or this other guy died. Okay. Oh, let's pretend that you were just born. Okay. That's basically what it is. It's a game of let's pretend, but that's their entire system. And that's one of the reasons why you don't need to use U.C.C. when you're going after that account. I can't go after the account that's the Seswi KV trust. I can't go after that because I already proved the birth certificate was null and void from the beginning. So I kind of screwed myself out of that. I acted hastily. I didn't stop and think about what the consequences were. So now I've got to go back and do things differently. But, unfortunately, I'm really good for, thinking outside the box. So, yeah, if you're in a position, okay, if you want to do that, if you just want to start all over again, yeah, just go be baptized. Have your death recorded. Have your I don't want to say birth, actually. have you being born recorded, and then have the birth recorded as well. It's a legal person. Creation of a new legal corporation. You can start all over again. Okay? You can start all over again. If you're not worried about money, especially, if you got enough money saved up or whatever, yeah, you can say a brand new identity. Okay? That's how you can establish a totally brand new identity. Because again, their entire system is, let's pretend, I got to take a break. I got to do another break. I'll be right back after this. Are you tired of seeing the homeless in the streets? Well, have we got the product for you? Introducing Stealth Cloak 2020, the invisibility cloak that will make the homeless disappear. That's right. Each one of our patent-pending cloaks is guaranteed to make a homeless man or woman invisible. For the low price of $10,000 each, you can provide a homeless man or woman with a Stealth Cloak 2020. You may be asking, isn't $10,000 a lot of money? Well, no. When municipalities spend between $40,000 and $60,000 a year on each homeless man or woman, you can see that this is a bargain. If the homeless can't be seen, then the money can't be spent. Some of you may ask, what if we took the $10,000 and bought them a foamcrete house and land? Well, that would be treating them as if they were real human beings. Everyone knows that they are subhuman animals. So get your Stealth Cloak 2020 today at IamAPsychoWiener.com. Flat Earth News. The land known as Florida is 500 miles long and 160 miles wide. The land has no curvature. According to the math, there should be approximately 31.5 miles of curvature if the Earth were a sphere with a circumference of about 24,901 miles. No curvature has ever been detected at any altitude. This has been a Flat Earth News Brief with your host, Thunder Bear of the Courage Family. Peace out.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show. All y'all watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. The whole world's a stage, man. You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live.
Find yourself mastering the beach. Tune in and listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music, our resident musician and spiritual brother in Christ, Yahushua. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this
Yes,
out.
it's Message in the Music time once again, and only Flat Earth Radio has got him. Saturday, the true Sabbath. Lend a knee and lend an ear. Listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this out.
Starting 5 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, 8 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast,
Check this out.
and 7 o'clock p.m. Central.
This out.
The Geocentric Eccentric.
The Geocentric.
With West Blaze Music. Only Flat Earth Radio has got him. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
As bad as I want to be. FlatEarthRadioLive.com. The Ferret.
Hey, John, you don't look so good. What's the matter?
Oh, I always feel tired and run down. No energy. I think it's my poor diet or something.
Well, John, I used to feel the same way. Couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the daytime. That's when my doc told me that I had leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, wow. What'd you do? Surgery?
No way. I tried Tarsal. Tarsal is made with the finest, purest cream of tartar and MSM sulfur. And that's all. The fact that it contains all natural ingredients makes it especially desirable in today's toxic world. Tarsal is a white powder that you take every day with water or juice. Taken regularly, Tarsal can clear your leaky gut right up.
Tarsal, huh? So what else does Tarsal do?
Tarsal can help with acne, psoriasis, constipation, gallstones, heartburn, hemorrhoids, hypertension, IBS, and UTI.
Wow, that's quite a formula.
Yes, it is. And Tarsal also helps you to relax, repels insects, and can help you stop smoking.
So how do I find Tarsal?
That's easy. Just go to tarsal.com or call 619-363-1264. Try a bottle today and begin feeling normal again.
TARSUL.com. Try Tarsal today.
Asking these questions that no one ever asked before because we didn't even think about this. I think it's like God unlifting the veil, you know? He's starting to show people, look, you want to believe this? It's a lie. People are asking questions and truth is going to prevail. It's like, yeah, the biggest problem is that we're not able to eliminate questions, so therefore we can't assimilate. And, you know, people are asking questions and truth is going to prevail.
Join your host, Shelley Lewis, every Wednesday afternoon at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Down the Rabbit Hole with Shelley Lewis.
Down the Rabbit Hole with host Shelley Lewis. Only here on Flat Earth Radio Live. The Ferret.
Okay, I'm back. All right, so hang on, let me. Yep, all right, that's fine. All right, you know what? I wasn't sure if I was going to get to any news tonight, so I didn't post any over my Lightning Post page. It's all on my main Thunder Bear Courage page. Okay. I just skimmed through some of this stuff. I wasn't really prepared to read or go into deeply. Truckers face years in prison for transporting legal hemp because of cops just doing their jobs. So yeah, that's just something that yeah, that's legal hemp, by the way. Okay. Yeah, they just they're insane. Let's put it that way. They're just insane. Magnetic nanoparticles ease removal of microcontaminants from wastewater. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, stories up there on my Thunder Bear Courage Facebook page. Using nitric oxide and medical strategies optimizes replacing, engineering, or regenerating human cells. I actually haven't finished reading that article. So I can't really condense it down. I was thinking maybe next week doing a show on medicine and biology, technology, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I probably so, because there's been a lot of really interesting developments in the medical field and a lot of really interesting technology. So I might do a show like that tomorrow. Not tomorrow, sorry. Next Sunday. I might do that for a show next Sunday. I still haven't fully committed to it. But if it's the kind of thing that you might want to hear, let me know. Okay, just drop me something like a little email or something. The link for the show email is on my YouTube channel, and it's on this particular in the description of this video, I guess. Texas public schools to offer Bible classes in 2019 and 2020 school year. They're going to teach it from an academic standpoint, which is fine, actually. But if they're going to do that, I would suggest other texts as well. Why confine it to just the Bible? There's a lot of really interesting religious texts. If you're going to do religious studies, do it right. It's an optional course, by the way. It's not mandatory. But yeah, I mean, just do it right. I don't really have any confidence in them, though, in teaching religious studies, teaching the Bible. I just don't have any confidence in them. And how are they going to handle the Mandela effect when the teacher gets in there and says, and the lion shall lay down with the lamb, and he looks at Isaiah 11:6, and it says the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. It's like, wait a second, this is wrong. Let me get my other Bible. Oh crap, it's like that in there. Yeah. Mandela effect. Anyway, 8 free Linux learning resources for programmers. I've got to check that out. A lot of these I just kind of like posted in the last, not exactly last minute, but I posted up today and I haven't actually had a chance to really read them. Electricity is being used to treat wound infections. I did read that. That was really fascinating. It's these new bandages that they're going to come out with that have 1 volt of electricity. So it's not enough to like shock you or anything, but it interferes with bacterial slime forming. Bacteria slime forming. There we go. Ah, God. Anyway, yeah, it is interesting. Study. All immature cells have potential to develop into stem cells. Prostitution is a respectable career, say Thai girls, like from Thailand. Yeah, they need to do what they need to do. There's not that many jobs available for women in Thailand, and prostitution pays really well, and they've made a lot of inroads into having things like in a normal job, like time off and stuff like that, So yeah, they basically organized, and it's good for them. This machine learning tool can predict age and gender from just your Twitter profile. Let's see. Lawnmower face-off Ego battery-powered electric mower versus Honda gas mower. That's from Consumer Reports. Conspiracy theories or no, there is a good reason not to trust tech companies. Okay. Hyperdimensional computing theory could lead to AI with memories and reflexes. That's another story. That's really complicated. Maybe I'll go into it next Sunday. The household alternative to spending money on sports drinks. They mentioned salt, and they got just an ordinary salt shaker with table salt. They don't actually have what kind of salt that they recommend in the article. I, however, would recommend something like sea salt, or there are other salts that have higher mineral content than that. But yeah, I used to actually carry sea salt with me and put a little bit in water, especially when I took that trip, that bicycle trip from Houston, Texas to Hueytown, Alabama. Actually, Hueytown is next to Birmingham. So yeah, that helped a lot, by the way. It helped a whole lot. Oh yeah, something just popped up here. Someone liked one of my comments, and I said civilians are under the Roman Empire or subject to the Roman Empire. I made that comment on one of the law sites that I'm on, or law pages or whatever. Yeah, so be careful with the words. Okay, you don't want to claim to be a civilian. Okay, don't claim to be a civilian. Do not claim to be an American. That's something that's really, really, really important. Never, ever claim to be an American or a U.S. citizen in front of a police officer. There was one time I saw on video. Okay, I actually saw this on video. This guy was basically fending off a sheriff's deputy, okay, with words. But then the sheriff's deputy said, "Are you a U.S. citizen or an American?" No, he said, "Are you American?" That's right. He said, "Are you American?" And the guy says, "Yes, I am." And then the deputy grabbed him. He just grabbed him right then and there. It's like, then he had authority over the man because that man just claimed to be an American. Okay. I don't really have time to go into that and why, you say certain things to these deputies. You might be doing all right, but then you open up your mouth and answer a question like that you think is innocuous. It's not innocuous. Okay. They never ask you innocuous questions. All right. Are you an American? You say yes. Boom. They grab you right there. Okay. That's when you know they're going to try to grab you, when they ask you questions like, are you an American? Or are you a U.S. citizen? Whatever. Italy opens antitrust probe into Google because of a rejected Android app. Sorry, Android Auto app. Yeah, it's made by the Italian government, by the way, or kind of in a way. That's kind of complicated. Anyway, let's see. This AI that sounds just like Joe Rogan should terrify us all. Yeah. I mean, think about it. If they can do good audio deep fakes like that, what's to stop them from, maybe, impersonating me or someone else, or impersonating anyone, really, and making it, framing you for a crime, or maybe, killing you off and then impersonating you to drag your name through the mud. And you're not there to say, oh, that wasn't me. I didn't say that. And the thing is, now that they can do audio deep fakes really well to sound exactly like you, and they can do the visual deep fakes to look like you. Yeah. It's ways that they can frame you. Revealed 5G rollout is being stalled by Rose over lamppost. Rose as in arguments, basically. It's from the Guardian, England. Yeah, you don't really trust the Guardian, but I mean, you can take the story for what it is. Okay, but just remember that the Guardian is a mainstream paper, and it will twist things around. Okay, a little bit here and there. Let's see. Children describe technology that gives them a sense of ambiguity. Sorry, ambiguity as creepy. Okay, that's a tough word to say, isn't it? Ambiguity. Crap. Screw it. A man got a gut parasite through having sex with his wife. His wife evidently had sex with some other guy when she was away in another country, and it was I should put this, anal oral sex is how he got the parasite, because the parasite lives in poop. So yeah. Anyway, girl hospitalized after slipping and impaling her neck on a sharpened pencil. So watch out for sharpened pencils. And she actually not only hospitalized, but she got paralyzed as well. Scientists have developed a living organism with fully redesigned DNA. Scientists find a new way to manipulate atoms. I'm not going into. I'm just reading the titles here. Let's see. Skip that one. Can changing your microbiome reverse lactose intolerance? And it turns out it can. So if you're lactose intolerant, you might want to check this story out. You can actually have that reversed. Okay. Wild video shows the moment an F-16 fighter jet crashed into a California warehouse. Here's the best way to protect your accounts from hacker takeovers. Lenovo stole a fan's video to promote the foldable Motorola Razr. New device translates silent thoughts into speech. It's not actually translating the thoughts themselves, by the way. What it's doing is when you're thinking about talking or saying something, there are these like little micro tremors that happen in around your voice box and stuff, and that's what it picks up. Okay, it's just these muscles, and so yeah, if those muscles aren't working right, then it can't pick it up, or whatever. Let's see. Yes, there are security ramifications to serverless computing. This portable gadget washes delicate clothing without detergent. I want to check that out. Let's see. After Army Colonel warns a false flag to start war with Iran, U.S. blames Iran for attacks. Okay, so watch out for a war with Iran. Okay. Probably coming soon. Iran has a lot of resources and stuff. Nutrition for nerve regeneration. If you're having problems with your nerves or something, you might want to check that article out. Oh, I got something here. Alfie People. Don't forget about Alfie People. It's kind of like Facebook, but for the flat Earth community. And you can go up to, of course, well, you're probably already on Flat Earth Radio Live. You can go up there to media, and you'll see it's a drag down menu. We also accept donations. I can really use either a mixing board or a new computer. I figured out a way of actually using two computers and have guests on, so I can have guests on without having to loop back anything. I was trying to do it with my phone. It wasn't quite working. Using my phone and the computer together, it wasn't quite working. So I don't know. Maybe I can get it to working. I'm not sure. It would be nice. It would be really super nice if I had a way of having guests on without actually hearing myself through my earbuds, because it's really distracting. Police officer who pulled gun on black man who was picking up trash quits force. Okay, this black man who was picking up trash in his yard. Well, a police officer pulled a gun on him. Drop the weapon, he says, and the weapon was just one of these little claw sticks that you use to pick up trash. Key body camera footage missing after Chicago police officers raid wrong homes, point guns at children. God, I'm telling you, they're insane. They're absolutely insane. Protest leads to removal of cell masks from school. Let's see here. Hang on, I scroll some here. 10 best used cars under $5,000. Let's see. Yeah, no hockey sticks. Studies reveal long-term lack of warming. Okay, so yeah, just so you know, the whole global warming thing is bullcrap. Let's see. China just built a 250-acre solar farm shaped like a giant panda. It's cool looking. It really is. It's fun, actually. Fun looking. Let's see. Hang on, I'm still scrolling. I got one of these little messages popped up telling me that someone responded to a comment or something. Let's see. Man. Okay, House passes bill to force lawmakers to pay their own sexual harassment lawsuit settlements, which is good. Let's see. Huge rise in number of 100-pound fines being given to homeless people. Pound is a unit of money in England. let's see. Yeah, I'm almost out of time here. Israel seizes solar panels donated to Palestinians by Dutch government. You know what? I'm gonna skip ahead. There's what was a story I really wanted to do. It was the Pentagon getting caught actually funding terrorism, actually admitting that they were funding terrorism. Okay, they actually admitted on record that they were funding Al Qaeda and the Taliban and all these other and ISIS. They were actually asking for money to pay the terrorist groups. All right. Let that sink in. Okay. Just let that sink in. Anyway. Yeah, see, do I want to? No, I'll go a couple more minutes here. UK cops fine pedestrian $115 for avoiding facial recognition camera. Yeah. So yeah, they're fining them. Okay, for avoiding a facial recognition camera. Now I'm assuming they actually charge pounds and not dollars, and they just converted it in the story to dollars. Since it's UK, United Kingdom. So yeah, they're fining someone for avoiding a facial recognition camera. Well, does he have any obligation to show his face to one of these cameras? Really? Is there any obligation? Is there any contractual obligation for him to show his face? I don't think so. You know, it's kind of like dealing with codes and statutes and stuff. Am I, as a man, my name Thunder Bear of the Courage family, am I in any of your codes and statutes? Have you made a code or a statute that applies specifically to me? No. It's the persons, right? It's the persons in general. Well, I'm not a person. I'm a man, right? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. If you're pulling out of a parking lot at night, please turn on your headlights and your tail lights. If you have one of those defective cars, do not give a police officer a reason to pull you over. Okay. Seriously, don't give them any reason to pull you over. They are psychopathic criminals, and they're insane. This is where I disagree with Carl Lentz. I think they're all crazy. I really do. I think they're all criminally insane one way or another. So yeah, just be careful all night, okay? And let me see. I got to go over to YouTube, and go ahead and end it. Everyone have a nice night.